We got a new project. Another day, another project for the old RV here. I don't know if y'all know, but when we bought this back in November, so we're getting close to a year now, we knew that the batteries in this thing, the house batteries, were almost gone. They're old, they're dry, they're dead. And recently I noticed this back one here is getting wet, so I think it's actually boiling over. Even though it's low on water, the water that is in there is getting overcharged. So I've actually disconnected them now. The old disconnect switch up here. But the project is going to be replacing them. So my intentions were to upgrade these batteries to lithium, but one thing you got to do, and this is good to check out with your inverter manufacturer, is to make sure that your inverter is capable of charging lithium batteries. Not all inverters are capable of charging lithium batteries, so you can't just plug it in and go. Lithium are a little more finicky. There's three kinds in the world that are pretty much the major things. There's lead acid is call it the normal. It's closer to in kind to like your car battery or something. It's really heavy. It's also the ones that you could only like use 50%. So if it says 100 amp hours, you can really only use 50 amp hours before you might damage it. The other is AGM batteries, and those are still a lead acid type, but the GM stands for glass mat. It's like absorbed glass mat, and that has to do with the liquid that's in it. Instead of just being free flowing liquid, it's like sort of like a gel, and it's all in a glass or fiberglass type mat that holds it all together. And those are typically sealed, meaning there's no ports on the top. Like these have a port, there's water inside there, there's liquid. An AGM battery does not have this. So the nice thing about an AGM battery is that the AGM batteries are basically maintenance free. These you're supposed to check once a month, check the fluid level on them. I'd say at least if you check them every couple of months, you're good to go, just to make sure that you don't need to add any distilled water to them. And then the third kind is the latest rave and craze, is lithium, and you'll see them called, I love it because it spells out life, L-I-F-E-P-O, LifePo. Lithium, Li stands for lithium, Fe, is it phosphate? No, phosphate's a thing. I don't know. It's a chemical. It's a chemical thing. Oh, PO is phosphate. Lithium, L-I-F-E. What's Fe? Let's look it up real quick. What is the chemistry symbol Fe? Iron. Fe is iron. So they're lithium iron phosphate, L-I-F-E-P-O. LifePo is how people say them. So lithium batteries are, one, they're super cool, because if you get 100 amp hours, you can use 100 of those 100 amp hours. You can discharge that thing to 0 and then recharge it back to 100. Discharge to 0, recharge to 100. You're usually not going to do that. You're just going to use some of it and it's going to charge. But you can do that like 2, 3, 4,000 times over the life of a lithium battery. So that's why they're so beloved, especially among off-gridders and stuff like that, because they last a long time, but they're also more expensive. So like these batteries here, these 4 batteries here, cost me a whopping 500 bucks at Sam's Wholesale. About 125 bucks for each one. A lithium iron phosphate, a LifePo battery of about equal size, about close to 100 amp hours, is probably gonna cost you about 700 bucks for each one.
Right, so 7 times 14 is 1,400, 1,400 times 2 is 28, yeah.
$2,800 for 4 batteries. And you've got to have the right kind of inverter for it, because if you don't, it won't charge it. So if you don't have the right kind of inverter, you might have to upgrade your inverter, which could be another $1,000. Now you're talking about $3,800. So that's still our plan. There may be just some upgrades, like without replacing the whole inverter, that we can do, like changing the controller or something like that. That might be $1,000. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put these lead acid batteries in there for now, and then sometime over the next year we'll upgrade the inverter, whatever we need to do, and then the next year we'll start adding lithium. We'll take out all the lead, and maybe we'll buy 1 lithium battery for 700 bucks, and then maybe a few months later buy a second one. That's what's good about lithium, is you can do that too. You can do that with these, but it's a little harder. So anyway, that's the project today. I've already rambled on a little bit. Take out the old batteries and put in these new ones. Wish me luck. See you in a bit. I just checked the weather looks like there's more rain coming later, so I'm just gonna try to knock this out real quick. Tools, I'll tell you the tools for the trade. I'm gonna use a voltmeter. I always show you my little backup voltmeter because my other one's in my inspection kit. But voltmeter, I just want to check to make sure the charging voltage is turned off on the batteries. That's the inverter charger pushing power to the batteries. I want to make sure that's off. Just no reason to deal with extra voltage. You're only dealing with 12 or 13, so it's not really like a big deal. And the other is a 14 millimeter is the size of the bolts that are on here right now. I haven't even checked the size of the bolts, these bolts that came with the new batteries. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, before you get started, take a picture of how it is right now so that when you're done, you can hopefully put it back. Now, if you don't know, if you're new, these 4 over here are house batteries. These 2 over here are chassis batteries. So these 2 are the ones that actually start the engine, and they're fairly new. They look dirty as all get out, but they're new. Maybe I'll dust them off while they're in here. These are old, dead, and dry. I mean, you can see in there. See, that's the top of the battery cell. That's bad for batteries. But yeah, these are old. These are at least 3 years old, if not older. And 2, you want to recycle these. You want to take these batteries back and turn them in. It's called a core charge, but basically they take them back and recycle them. I don't know what they do with recycling, but they do what they can. It's better than throwing it into a landfill. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and put some bug spray on because there's mosquitoes flying around here. All right, the first thing is let's check and verify that the charging voltage is off. So we can go to volts DC. It should be off. I mean, the battery switch is off, but it's always good to verify things, you know. You don't want to think it's off and find out it's really not. So from here, let's pick a spot. From here to here, 0. Let's go across just one battery. That's 0. 0. 1 or 2 volts is like 1 volt. Yeah, these guys are toast. This is the primary negative and this is the primary positive. But this is basically reading 0 all the time when I have it touching. So that's good. That means no charging voltage is going to this. All right, we'll set that aside. And then we're just gonna start disconnecting things. We're gonna try to keep them in order so that we can reuse the same pattern. You know, this one, I'm gonna reuse all these cables. So this cable here, I'm gonna clean them up a little bit while I have them off. But I'm first gonna start with the main positive and the main negative. This is the main positive here and the main negative. So let's take them off. What's this thing doing? Oh, you fell out, I'm sorry. Okay, I think that'll be better. No, just kind of like a car battery. Let's take the positive off first. And this is not something that you absolutely need gloves for. I'm just wearing gloves mostly because of the battery acid. I just don't want to deal with it that much. All right, so the main positive is off. The main negative is off. This gets pretty simple. The only thing I think the only tips is, like, you know, you're using a ratchet here. Try not to contact other pieces of metal. Granted, these are dead as a doornail, so it's probably not going to make any difference, but when you get your new batteries in here, you really don't want to touch like positive to ground or the metal frame. That's going to cause all kinds of problems. That's disconnected. That's disconnected. And I tell you too, you know, people talk about batteries blowing up. You know, that, like, so all this wetness over here on this one is from like water and stuff boiling up. Again, I'm not a battery expert. Served on submarines, and I used to do battery testing. Like, I had to crawl. We had these giant batteries, 126 cells, giant batteries that we had, and had to crawl around in there. You had to take off every piece of metal. You had to tape up your zipper on your clothes and stuff like that so it wouldn't come in contact with these giant batteries. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side story. But, you know, I don't know what specific precautions in the sense of, like, a battery blowing up. I mean, does it like explode and spray all over you and you end up going to the emergency room because you got acid in your face or something like that? Or is it a slow process? Like, I've seen a battery that's swollen, case is starting to crack or something like that. Do they just use the term blow up, explode, because it's getting bigger? Is that pretty much it? I don't know. All right, I think I've got everything disconnected. Everything. That was easy. Everything's disconnected. Now I just gotta lift these suckers out and put the new ones in. They give you at the store this handy dandy strap, this little hook strap thing. Hook it onto one end, hook it onto the other end. Then we're gonna try not to break our back because these suckers are heavy. Of course, these might not be as heavy because they don't have any water in them. Okay, they're heavy. Is there something holding them in? It's jammed in there. Again, I don't want to break my back. Hold on, because now that this is disconnected, watch that side. Don't want to damage these guys. There we go. They're just jammed in there. And guess what? They're still heavy. There's one. Here's two. 3. Try not to touch them on my clothes too much. I probably already did. I already got a hole here from some other battery thing I did on a different RV. Look at that. 4 batteries out. 4 batteries to go in. An empty space. I'm gonna clean this up as best I can. Get some of this rusty, dusty debris and stuff out of there. A lot of this is dirt. And some of it's rust. I think it has something to do with the chemical composition that causes, you know, things near batteries to just rust faster. When I upgrade to lithium, I might even replace this whole tray with a brand new one. Things are cleaner than they were in the whole tray area. Clean off these again. I'm not gonna do a lot. In fact, I'm probably gonna do almost none. Just give them a quick wipe off, and you probably can't see down here, but I'm trying to keep these cords all in order, because this is the order they came off the batteries. That way I know when I put the new batteries in, I can put them back in exactly like they were. So tell me if I put one back wrong. Just kind of cleaning these posts here a little bit. Never been a fan of tape, but again, this is not an upgrade. This is a replace so that we can get something going. And I'm going to start putting batteries back. Got to refer to my picture because I've already forgotten which way was the positive and which way was the negative. Positive in. All right, here we go. I hope you don't fall down. Hope these aren't bigger than what was there before. That would be disappointing. Just need you to stay out of the way for a minute. These are noticeably heavier than the ones I just took out. 2 more and the heavy lifting's done. Literally, the heavy lifting. Wow, no joke. This thing's barely fit. I don't know about you, but I'm tired. Whew. There it goes. Whew. You still there? All right, look at that. Whew. 4 brand new batteries. I'm not going to use the post as far as the lead post. I'm just going to use the screw side. So I'm going to try. I don't know if that helps, but I'm going to leave those on there. Well, thanks for joining me on this journey. If you haven't already, smash the like and subscribe button. Helps the YouTube algorithm say that you like RV videos and RV how-to videos, not just mine, but other people's too. All right, so now we're gonna start buckling these things back together. I'm gonna refer to my picture, make sure I'm doing this right. We're gonna go from here to there with this guy. I don't know about you, it always makes me nervous to connect negative to positive, right? You ever like freak out? You know, like you're always told like, don't do that with a car. You connect the negative to the positive, you're gonna blow up in your face. This positive to this positive. So what I've got here is 2 in series, 2 in parallel. This negative to this negative, this negative to this positive. Something to think about when you're doing this is make sure when you run these cables, like that one's a little tight, make sure that you can still access your water ports. And if you can't, you know, rearrange, look at this, rearrange your cable. That's better. Because you want to be able to open these with no problems. Because if you have trouble getting into them, you're less likely to check them. All right, does that make sense? Okay, and then I remember for sure. This one was here. This one was here. And this one was there. Boom. Now we just got to put the screws on and tighten it down. That easy. I'm just gonna put the old bolts back on them because they're already open. Looking good. One of my goals in doing these videos, my company name is RV Shepherd. It's like I want to be a good shepherd of my RV, and I'm hoping that through some of these videos and stuff, I can help you be a good shepherd of your RV as well. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has different levels of knowledge. I've made mistakes. I have a different level of knowledge than you do. But working together as a community, being friendly, stay friendly. I see people all the time, they're just not friendly. I'm like, what's your deal? Why do you gotta be so grumpy? And just like a car battery, you don't need to torque this down like you're building a rocket ship. Snug it up. You can come back and, you go on a road trip or something, come back and check them out. Make sure they stayed snug. Nothing wrong with that. Do bolt count, make sure you snug them all. 1, 2, 3, should be 8 of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one's under here. Not even tight at all, it's all hiding back there. 8, look at that. Snug as a bug in a rug. That's it. That's it, we did it. We're all hooked up just the way we were. We'll do a triple check of the old picture. We got this red wire going to that back one. Then that red wire goes back to that one. Then this black one goes here. It used to go this way, but it's the same. It goes here. This one has this guy on there. And then it curves around to here. That one's got the big main negative on it. And then there's this one under here that goes from there and back. It goes from here and back. So we were hooked up the exact same way it was hooked up before. I'm gonna take a picture so I can post it on my internet group. Everybody be proud and excited. They'll be happy that I finally did this. Should have done a long time ago. Didn't realize how easy it was gonna be. So let me clean this up a little bit and then I'll get back with you in just a second. Whew, we did it. We did it. Look at this beauty. Ta-da! Can you see it? Ta-da! Cleaned off the house batteries, or the chassis batteries. These are the house batteries. And then now we're gonna do the thing. Ah, they're on. Okay. Let's do a comparison. How about that? I think I hear the inverter making noise. It's always one of those things I'm like, oh, please don't let me blow myself up. I'm never in favor of blowing myself up. But look at here, from positive to negative, 12 volts. I don't know if you can read that, but it says 12 volts. Charging voltage, like it says, like 13. So right now we're sitting at 12, and then we'll take a look later, but we did it. It's hot, it's humid, it's Florida. But we got some batteries, so cool. If you have any questions about replacing batteries, post them down below in the comments, and we'd love to answer any that we can or direct you to somebody that does have the answer. We thank you for watching. Again, hit like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Woo. The sweat is pouring. Like I said, it's like 99% humidity and about 85 degrees outside. Fortunately, I'm in the shade, so I'm doing good. Just remember too, my motto, safety first, never last. Have a future, not a past. That's my motto. What's the motto with you? Hey, we'll see you next time. Take care, and thanks for watching RV Shepherd. Bye-bye.